I'm going to tie up a great little panfish fly today. This is called the slow sink spider. And being as that I am right here in the Midwest and we don't have a whole lot of trout streams around here, we're pretty much a warm water fishery. And it always amazes me, even people that do have trout around and everything really love panfish flies. They're simple, I think. They're very effective, and obviously it's just a lot of fun. It's a great pastime for people to just tie on a little spider, a little predator, a little hopper pattern or something, and go out to their favorite panfish holes. So the slow sink spider, the idea behind this is that it is similar to the foam spider, but it does sink because obviously it's not foam. This is made out of some chenille, so it doesn't have positive buoyancy. It is a great little fly, lots of action to this. You can cast this along structure, weed lines, current seams, whatever, and it just seems to produce very well. It is also a very quick and easy fly to tie. So that's the slow sink spider, and I'll get busy tying. I'm going to start the slow sink spider by putting my hook in the vise. For this, I'm using some Mustad 3906B. It's going to give me a little bit longer body on this. This is a size 8. Now, I'm also using this hook because it's a heavier hook. It's a nymph hook. This is a sinking spider. Now, even if you use a dry fly hook, which you can, say like an R50 or something like that, you're going to end up with a fly that does sink, and it'll sink slower. If you want it to sink a little bit faster, a little bit deeper, then you can use a nymph hook, or you can even put some weight on this if you want. That's the nice thing about this. You can vary this up for different circumstances. So I'm going to debarb the hook. I'm using a size 8 on this because of the fact that if I go much smaller, I get too many little panfish that will actually, especially if I tie this in a size 12 or 14, they'll inhale this thing and you're getting their hook down in their throat and everything. So for this, I just would rather go ahead and use a little bit bigger hook. For thread, I'm using a Danville 6/0 in black. I'm going to attach my thread about an eye length behind the eye of the hook, and I'm going to run that down to about the point of the hook, a little bit beyond, just to give me a little base of thread. I'm going to bring it back up to about halfway up the hook shank, and then I'm going to tie in the body material. For the body, I'm using, this is a fluorescent nylon chenille in a fine size, and this is a black ultra chenille. They're both about the same diameter, and they work very well together. I wanted something really bright on this, so that's why I'm going with the fluorescent. You could go with the yellow or an orange, whatever you want for the rear color on this fly. For about halfway up the hook shank here, I'm going to secure both of these in, running these down. You don't have to have touching turns to secure that in. I just want to get those down along the hook shank nice and secured and bring my thread back up to the halfway point. Here I'm going to apply just the Chartreuse. I'm going to start wrapping that around. This is the rear section of the spider. Usually get 4 or 5 wraps in here. You could go a little bit further if you wanted. I just, for ease and simplicity, just divide it right in half. There's a couple of ways you could proceed with this. I am going to take the black over the top and secure that down, similar to the polecat, which I did a video not too long ago on. This has just a stripe right across it. Is the polecat? Maybe it was the humbug. Now, there's a couple of things you could do here. We could get our legs in. I can wrap this up here. I can then wrap all of this in and tie it off, then reattach to put the legs in. People do this in different ways. I'm going to go ahead and just attach the actual legs right here at this stage. And I'm using a round rubber leg. This is just a medium round rubber leg. I've got these clipped pretty long because I'm going to trim those back. I'm going to put all four up here. And I'm just going to tie those in with 3 wraps, not super tight. And then I'm going to spread those out, getting each set of legs on the opposite side. Once I have those in place there, I'll actually put in a few more wraps to kind of crank down on those and secure those in. Then I'm going to sweep everything back and run my thread right up to just a little bit behind the eye of the hook. So at this stage, I can just wrap in I can go ahead and wrap in the ultra chenille. Stroking the legs out of the way, I can continue to wrap that right on up to make the body. As I said, you can do this. There's other videos out there. You could do it and then secure your thread and then reattach the thread to tie in the legs if you want. This is just my way of doing it. It's a little quicker, I suppose. I haven't had any negative feedback from the fish on it. I'll get those legs positioned again. Put a little head on here. Get in a 4 or 5 turn whip finish. I can trim away my thread. Up to you how you want to do it. I generally collect all of these legs and bring them straight up. I'm not pulling on them because I still want them anchored to the sides here. I use my index finger as a guide. Then I just trim these right across. That gets them all a nice length. You could go a little bit longer or even a little shorter if that's what you prefer. With all of that in place, get a little head cement out. And I'm going to put some right down in the center just to help secure that just a little bit. So that is a slow sink spider. Essentially, it's kind of like the foam spider in how it's made, but you're using the chenille, so that will actually doesn't have a positive buoyancy to it, and it allows this to sink slowly, just like the name implies. You could use a 3906 hook if you want a more compact body on that. It's up to you. You could use a curved hook. There's all kinds of different things you could do with this. If you don't have the fine chenille, you could use a medium chenille. You could use some dubbing if you want to. I think probably the only thing, a little yarn or something right across the back there would give you that contrast right there. But it's a very, very effective fly. It's a fun fly to tie, fairly quick to tie, and even more fun to fish. That is the slow sink spider. Thanks for watching today.
Thanks for joining me at the Vise today.
I hope you learned at least a new pattern, if not a new technique, maybe a tip or trick here and there. If you have any questions about this fly or any of the techniques used in constructing this pattern, please leave them in the comments section down below. If you go to the trouble to ask a question, I'll go to the trouble to answer it. If you'd like to help dressed irons, please share this video with your friends and anybody you think that might enjoy this pattern. Until next time, remember, it's fly tying. If you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong.